Well, greetings, everyone. It is I, your one and only host,
the Cosmic Jedi.
Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about the Rings of Power on Amazon Prime. Why?
Damn, son.
I really wanted to like the show from the first trailer for the first season.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being so dumb.
But after watching the first season, it is clearly not for me. I do like the Hobbit movies, but I prefer and love The Lord of the Rings. So when I first heard of a TV show or a streaming series for a Lord of the Rings story adaptation, whatever it was, I was in two minds. Like, I don't know if you guys can pull off, the world well for a weekly viewing. Although it's a great idea, don't get me wrong. Anytime something like that is mentioned or it's being discussed, I'm always in two minds because of what certain companies have done with different shows in the past. For example, like The Acolyte on Disney Plus. My goodness, man. So I have no faith, or there's no more hope left in me for any type of projects that is coming down the line, especially something as big as Lord of the Rings world. Or let's say they decide to do a Harry Potter-ish world. No, they decide to do like Hogwarts. Is it that they decide to do that for streaming service, and it's like the School of Hogwarts, but maybe like before Harry Potter days, or I don't know if you want to do after. No, before Harry Potter. So a story of Hogwarts to streaming sounds like a good idea. If they do it well, it could work. Just like the Wednesday series on Netflix, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. There were some personal things I took from that because of their talk on ancestors and past life, and some form of not reincarnation, but a particular there were elements of that show that I really enjoyed, and I thought, okay, I didn't see them pulling this part of the show off, but they did a great job. So I'm looking forward to season 2 for that one. I didn't even hear they were doing it. I just saw a trailer for it once. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't even know they were doing this. I didn't hear any chatter for it. But when it was suggested to me to watch that I would enjoy it, I thought, okay, this is a suggestion coming from someone that knows me well enough. Fine, I'll check it out. When it came to Rings of Power, now I saw the trailer for that one. What's the other one that came out with the women who were using the elements? Oh my gosh. That was another Amazon Prime show that was really, really, really good. Season 1 was outstanding. Season 2, however, oh my god, boring, lackluster. It became too much of behind the scenes. It's just what they set up in the first season was pretty cool, but then the second season just it slowly became man bashing, woman versus man. You men don't do this. This is why women have the power. It's like, it's too much. There was a beautiful fight scene with a pregnant lady. My gosh, I till this day I feel that fight scene alone trumped the whole of Wonder Woman 2 movie. It trumped completely, because that was a crap show. That movie was trash. The Wonder Woman 2 with Gal Gadot, trash. Just as bad. No, not as bad as the Flash movie.
Damn, son.
No. Nothing is beating the Flash movie in terms of how bad it is.
Nice.
Although Deadpool 3 was close. But the Flash movie has a special spot for trash. But anyway, there's so many things I'm confused about. I just finished episode 3. I haven't even started watching episode 4 yet. And a few things that just stuck out between 1, 2, and 3 that, I don't know if I'm going to do it chronologically, but the mystery wizard person that some people think is Gandalf, so do I. But I haven't read the books, by the way, so I don't know if this is supposed to be Gandalf or someone else. I don't even care anymore. His babyish demeanor thing is getting on my nerves. Like, it's like having all this ancient godly power inside a 5-year-old. It's just, once or twice he's afraid of doing things. I get it. I get his character journey so far. He's worried about, expressing his power and causing harm. I get it, but it's just too much. It's too much. You want to get the character doing his thing quickly, so that way we can connect to him faster and look forward to seeing him on screen. The 2 Hobbit ladies, or two that joined after, I don't really care for, man. If it was just him on his journey, I'd have preferred that rather than having a back and forth with this Hobbit thing. It's just too, I don't know. There's something about it that just jars my eyes, and the way she talks, her accent is cool, but it's the way it's the back and forth conversation. Sometimes when they're talking, it looks like she's the mother and he's the child. Golly, that shit gets on my nerves, man. There was a scene where they were being tracked by some raiders or whatever clan raiders, and then he starts his power. There's a tornado going off, or world. Yeah, you say a tornado. I guess it's a tornado. Very strong, powerful tornado that's pushed the bad guys backwards, and then sent the two little hobbits or halflings, whatever they're called in this world or in this version or this time of the story being told. They've been flung high. I don't know how high into the air. And when I saw that scene, I was like, you guys can't tell me they can't die. Although I haven't seen episode 4, are you telling me that the tornado moves with them and then lands them softly at the next destination? Because they were flung high, and they didn't need to be flung so high because we know they're not going to die. So it's just, for people like me, those scenes are so jarring. There's ways you can do scenes to just give us that little tension. But don't fling him so high in there. Just blow him back, like further back, or teleport them, or maybe don't write the scene. How about that? Because people like me will pick at it. They were flung so high in the air. I was like, we know they're not going to kill them, but they should be dead, technically on paper. Wherever they land, I don't know what kind of convincing story you're going to give me that they're going to land safely, and where they're going to land will be so soft. No matter how high they're going to be dropping from. That's my little pet peeve about that one. I can't stand this Gandalf wizard guy. Boy, I think after episode 4, that would be my cutoff point. I don't think I'm going to watch any more episodes. I might wait till the last episode and watch that. If it's good enough, then maybe I'll go back. Now let's talk about Mr. Sauron, right? The main villain. I personally don't like the casting for the guy, for Halbrand, whatever his name is, the guy who's shapeshifting. I don't like. There's something about his face that I don't feel he's not giving me that. He's not giving off that menacing vibe, like that little, Lucifer, son of the morning. But then again, I'll be too bait. So I was saying Lucifer, son of the morning because brightest star, brightest angel, most gorgeous angel, based on their. Yeah, he doesn't feel ferocious enough to me. He just looks like some regular guy, like a bully. Like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not liking his face for the Sauron guy. Now, prior to him shapeshifting into Sauron, I didn't understand where he took that face from. I thought because it looks like his shapeshifting abilities is unique. Like he can create a face from scratch.
Damn, son.
So he doesn't have to look at someone and shapeshift into them, or find someone who's died in a land far, far away that no one knows about, and then shapeshift into them. He's creating his own physique, head to toe, face, everything from scratch. That's pretty cool. I give him that. But what I don't understand is because I haven't read the books, I didn't know Sauron started off as an elf, and then I don't know what the orcs story is about. I thought they were special creatures or soldier worker creatures, whatever they are. I thought they were made by Sauron. I thought they were unique to Sauron. Is it Sauron or Saruman? And the show isn't doing a good job or good enough job for me to understand their origin. If anything, I wouldn't mind watching. Then again, do I really want to know about the origin of the orcs? Maybe I wouldn't mind watching that. Maybe there's an episode coming up where they describe the orcs' origin, or they show it, not just exposition. But I would like to see their origin story. And even when I watched the Lord of the Rings from 1 to 3, I liked who they were. I enjoyed how they were depicted. Just the way they were depicted on screen was beautiful. I didn't watch the movie thinking, it'd be cool to know where they came from. Why are they all covered in black goo and gunk? Oh, they came from the earth. So they all come up from the earth, or the earth's core, whatever. So okay, cool. That makes sense why they're all covered in dirt and whatnot. Never have I thought to myself, I wonder if they're female orcs. I wonder if they have sex and have babies, and maybe some of them play basketball, some play football, some play American football, some play golf, like some of them are like content creators as well. Some of them are skydivers. It'd be cool to see some orcs who are skydivers, and some do some modeling. Then that would be nice. Imagine doing some modeling in the Shire as well with the hobbits. Yeah, that'd be cool. or if they're riding a Nazgul, creature. Yeah, some photo shoots with the Nazgul be cool as well. Yeah, yeah. Who gives a frick, man? Who gives a crap about the orc? I'm like, there was the scene where Sauron was talking to the orcs, right? And there's another elf guy with skin looked like he. Even that one I didn't understand. Maybe I didn't take time to enjoy the show, or to let the show, maybe I didn't give the show enough room for me to get used to it. But all I'm seeing is this character, that character, extensive dialogue that doesn't explain stuff. It's like poetry. They're talking to each other, but they're not talking. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing in this video. I'm just so frustrated because I was like, okay, well, the first season was trash, so do I need to watch the second one? And then obviously when they started off the second one, or whatever episode it was with Sauron in his elf-like form, and then getting killed, and then releasing this blast that he did, like this frost blast. I don't know if the frost blast killed everyone, but it was like this light blast. And I thought, okay, wait, if it's an elf, what kind of elf does that? Because the elves we saw in the Lord of the Rings movies, when they were all fighting and each of them died, we never saw a white blast coming from each of them. So I know there are different ranks and different types of elves, the elder elves and the ones who are older than the other ones who come from different clans and tribes. But which elf, vicinity does he come from that allows him to die and then release this burst of light or frostbite, whatever it is? Because it's confusing. Then his blood drips down, stays dormant for a while, then comes out from the crevice and then latches onto a rat, and a centipede or millipede crawls out of a hole. And all this time I'm watching this scene, I'm like, I don't know what this is supposed to be, right?
Does not compute.
He finds, randomly this wagon or whatever is going past. It's a lady on board, latches onto the wagon, attacks the lady, swallows a hole, and then it's obvious that he's drawing energy from all these creatures he's encountered. The rat is sapping the energy. So venom is practically in the Lord of the Rings lore now, drawing energy and feeding off like a parasite from all these creatures. The rat, the centipede or millipede, then the very well placed human being with her wagon. He finally devours her and then forms himself as a male, which is interesting because I was thinking, well, if you're a shapeshifter, you could have chosen that same female. But then again, I imagine people know her in the village she came from. That's how I was saying earlier on. That means he fashioned this form out of thin air. There's no mother or father to this form that he made, which is, I'm like, okay, cool. That's fresh. You did that of your own volition. That shows power. Cool. But is that a power he unlocked after he got stabbed and got killed by the orcs? Or is that a power he had before? If so, was it wise to kill him? I don't know if it's wise to kill someone who has the ability to shapeshift. But then again, the people who killed him, they didn't know how powerful he was? Or was that like a grand ritual? Like he knew he was going to get killed by them and he was low-key setting them up, but he had to die that way. He couldn't kill himself to then become the black goo venom, to then eat the rat, eat the millipede, and the unsuspecting, very well-placed lady with the wagon to become Hilandriel, what's his name? Baldur, Griffinhill, Smith, Velanir, whatever his name is. I don't even like his name because I'm like, different names and that's just going to get confusing. I'm neurodivergent, so certain things can just bypass my brain. It's like now it's too many. It's just too much. Just keep it simple. I mean, if you ask me to give you the names of every character that was featured in the Lord of the Rings movie, not off the top of my freaking head right now, but at least I can name some. But these guys, a whole season has gone by. All I can say is Galadriel and Sauron. Galadriel and Sauron. And Numenor? Numenor, is that a place or a person? And then, I mean, all the names sound cool, but they're not memorable characters to me. The faces, yes, but not the names. The faces I remember. If you show me if you show me the headshots for each character and each actor and actress, I'm like, yeah, I know that one. That's the elf. That's not the elf. That's the bad guy. That's the good guy. And then the other side characters as well. I'm like, I don't really care about them. I'm just about hanging in there with the Gandalf, not really Gandalf guy. And then the Sauron dude, I want to really understand what he's doing, because the way people are allowing people to get played, if this threat of Sauron is real, or is now real because after season 1, they're like, yo, homeboy is real. He's awake. And even pre that, I remember season 1 was showing Galadriel as if she was, she was like a woman making noise for the sake of, and even that threw me off too. I'm like, dude, are you guys trying to depict human characteristics into elven creatures that are not real, but you've given them you've depicted them differently from us? So surely if someone says it's a threat of Sauron returning, you take it real serious. And you don't know the attributes of this Sauron. So do they know he's a shapeshifter or not? Because I didn't even know he was a shapeshifter. Hellbrand, that's his name. Hellbrand, whatever that's the one. But the fact that I didn't know he was an elf, I didn't know how powerful he was. Then I'm thinking to myself, how many elves can shapeshift? Or is it like a Star Wars thing where he got kicked out from elf world, and then he started his own school or something, or went to a master. So like Star Wars, he's an apprentice and he's found a master, and the master's gifted him this power to shapeshift. So is that a thing where anyone who works underneath the master he's working with, or an entity he's working with, can all shapeshift? Or is this a special gift given to Mr. Sauron, aka Halbrand? I just the show, without me having to go to YouTube or read the book, I'm coming from the perspective of, you've presented the show to me as a fan who loves all three Lord of the Rings and still enjoys The Hobbit, but I prefer Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit is like number 2, Lord of the Rings number 1 ranking. So I'm like, okay, you've taken me from Lord of the Rings to The Hobbits, which is cool, and now you're saying you're doing the show. Or, let's see what you got. And I don't feel the show has done a good enough job for me, or maybe people like me, to say, this is the world, these are the characters, and this is the story of how Sauron deceived everyone to get in the rings. And that's like the central part of the story. And meanwhile, these are the things that occurred while Sauron was building his empire. So when the shapeshifting thing began, I was like, okay, so that means you're going to be changing faces every time you come across different people, because everyone knows Halbrand is Sauron. So now, with everyone knowing who he is, or not everyone, because the message I was sent to the main guy in the other citadel, didn't reach him, right? But even him, man, I'm so pissed I can't even get my words out properly for this video. I said I didn't want to make it long, but here we are. I just don't get it, basically. I don't feel the show has done enough for me to understand how Sauron is doing what he's doing. I know why, but I don't feel it's doing it intelligently enough for me. Now, the dwarven community, I really appreciate the sister playing her role, or her character. Outside of her, everyone else is boring to me. Even the husband is dull. All they do is shout. Well, mainly him, but they all shout. Maybe that's their trait. All dwarven people shout. Yeah, whatever. But that's going to get boring after a while. You need to find creative ways for dialogue to be expelled without people getting irritated when someone's on screen. Otherwise, you lose your audience. Because that means when this character's on screen, you're like, oh, here we go again. Turn the volume down, please. Proper arguing. I haven't even seen them fight. And if I have, I've forgotten. And maybe the show is not necessarily about fighting. Yes, fine. But still, every time it's just bickering and arguing. It's like, that's what they do. Is that a dwarven thing in the book, by the way? Let me not bitch too much. Maybe all dwarven people just like to argue. It's part of their culture, or their way of life. Argue, and debate. The father thing was, that got old fast. Real fast. I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to cut it out, because I don't even really care about your bickering nonsense. Your caves are closing, your trees ain't growing, your crops this, you're not his son anymore, you're not royalty. It's like, it's fickle shit. I know it's each of them are going through their little world, but you've pitched the story to me, or maybe I've misunderstood the pitch. You're saying this is how Sauron, the main villain, the one-eye villain from the original series, got to trick everyone to wear these rings. I just want to see that. The lady who got blind, who's a ruler, then the guy who looks like Jack Black has now usurped her. Then there's another dude who is a sealed door. It's just so much. I'm like, how many? Which one do you want us? All of them? No, maybe like do one season for each, like 3 story arcs each season at least. Don't be, God, 5 story arcs, man. Maybe 6. Then you got the people, and even people too fickle. I just want some comprehensive, good storytelling and not have to see one ruler, you know, struggle for power and politics. It's just it's like trying to squeeze Game of is that man. Maybe it was the time these writers were in that they were just drawing in from real world experiences, merging with fantasy stuff. So the politics has to be there. But even the politics wasn't too heavy in the first Lord of the Rings. We need to find where to get this ring, or who needs to carry this ring from here to Mount Mordor. Then the other nation who they want to send armies and soldiers to go and help. That was subtle. It wasn't like people sat down talking politics. Gandalf was like, oh, this one is under this one's influence. This one is ignoring this one. Oh, we will not call you king because you're the broken line of. So that one made sense. There was, you know, there was a little issue between particular groups of people, but that was fine. But when you're doing this constant bickering with this dwarven people, and then the politics of, oh, we can't overthrow a queen onto the people, I was like, I don't care, and I want to see what those rings do, to be honest. And I want to really understand Sauron. How is he an elf? Like, how come no one? So did he change his name from Smith or Jason or Jonathan or Jack to Sauron? And if he changed his name, I'm really confused, man. Like, how was he before? What did he do? It's almost like the heaven and God thing. God cast Lucifer out of heaven, and then he became Satan. So did God call him Satan, or did he change his name to Satan?
Don't ask questions.
So if I'm correct, Sauron was once a good elf. I imagine something happened because he's not where elves normally are. Bright lit areas and, you know, surrounded by more elves. He's talking to the orcs. So is there like a caste system? Like the elves are all the posh, yes, well, the rich folk, yes, the more elegant, the more intelligent, yes, we have culture and civilization. And you orcs down below, short and minuscule and covered in dirt, in dark gunk, in black gunk. Yes, see what I did there? Is that what we're watching now? Is that what Lord of the Rings is now? Oh, but no, but technically it's not Lord of the Rings, it's Rings of Power. So this is before Lord of the Rings, before all the action and good stuff and all exciting stuff is just politics stuff. God damn. I think just focus on 3 story arcs in each season and then deal with them, so that way we don't have to watch another season that connects all the dots, because that means some of us have to do extra homework by rewatching all of the seasons again. But then again, if they're each good seasons, some of us wouldn't mind that. Like me, I'm a massive fan for rewatching stuff that's really, really good. I've been rewatching old school movies from the 80s and 90s, so I'm gravy with that. If your show is awesome, I'm gonna rewatch it. Like, I'm gonna rewatch the Evil series on Netflix, and I'm yet to do a review for that one real quick. I think I'll record a video after this one about the Evil series. But that one, that's worth a rewatch. Season 1 to 4, it's worth a rewatch because that's how awesome this show is. Really, really, really good. Really, really, really good. Whereas this Rings of Power nonsense, Wheel of Time, that's the one. That's the one I was talking about earlier on, with the ladies who have powers of spell casting with thin air and all that stuff. Different priestesses with different elements to their powers. Wheel of Time season 1 was really good. But this Rings of Power, no, I'm not enjoying the second season at all. Nor did I enjoy the first one. Let's not get it twisted. I didn't enjoy the first one. I just assumed by them studying what happened with the audience from the first one, they would learn the lesson and say, we need to step up the second season to keep the viewership up, to keep the membership, to keep the audience. Since you that's all they worship, it's the attention. You want attention, make great shows. Since your demigod algorithm feeds off attention, make the stories worth the while of the people selling you or giving you their attention for whatever limited time period it's available, until they decide to stop watching the show or sign out of the Amazon Prime account, because god damn, this shit is boring and frustrating.
I ain't coming for no foolishness.
I can just about see myself rolling my eyes when I watch episode 4, seeing those 2 hobbits or halflings, whatever the freak you want to call them, land safely, maybe bruised but not dead. Dude, if a tornado flings a human being up in the air and they drop when the tornado is done,
does not compute.
The only way they can pull it off is if that tornado is moving, which is going to be weird. That means the tornado is sentient, it's alive, it's conscious. Come on, guys. Come on, just don't write shit like that, because we'll see it. People like me will say, yo, really, dude? It flung them halfway up into how high? And they didn't die? Stop it. It didn't even fling him like it levitated. It tossed him like it was a slingshot. I imagine episode 4 is going to have that tornado bring him somewhere safely. I'm really disliking this show. I like highly disliking this show. None of the things are making visual sense and narrative sense to me. Maybe it's my neurodivergent mind that's not open to receiving it. But then again, I've watched many movies that I've understood in the past, so whatever.
I ain't coming for no foolishness.
I don't understand Sauron. That's the one main guy that's really confusing, or one main entity, because his shape-shifting stuff, I thought they would have used different actors for his shape-shifting. Because you can't, you have to convince me as to why people haven't sent messages to everyone saying the guy named Halbrand. And people don't know his face. They don't draw in that time period. They don't have magic. God, how did he fool these guys? So you're telling me this story we're getting is the authentic story, or are they pulling strings here and there, or are they mismatching stuff? Is this the official story in the original text, saying this is how Sauron fooled every nation and every tribe to get in each tribe to make their own ring? I do like that though. Story-wise, if that's in the books, I love that he didn't make the rings and sent them out as gifts to... Wait a minute. With the elves, he partook in making the rings with the elves, right? When it came to the ringsmith. But didn't he make one for the dwarves? He's currently working with the other guy in the Citadel, right? And he's made more rings for the dwarven people, right? But they weren't present. It looks like he needs someone. He from what I'm seeing, he needs someone. That means he doesn't have the skill. And also the person that he needs also needs Sauron. Because they're both lacking something that is needed for Sauron to get this thing done.